Hey Sydney, I'm Logan. Welcome back from our long break of no announcements. Today happens to be January 20th, 2015. It's a little snowy outside, but I hear it's just supposed to get a little warmer, around 45 degrees. So, hang in there, Sydney. So here's the question of the day. If you were traveling at 60 miles per hour, and you're going 60 miles, just how long will it take you?
In a gentle way, you can shake the world. That is your quote of the day today.
The next blood drive of the year is February 3rd from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the small gym. You can sign up with Mr. Bickle in his room or go to www.donortime.com. Our registration code for students and staff is 354. So get on there, hook yourself up, but remember, you have to be 16 years or older and you need to be able to weigh 110 pounds or more. Also, eat a good breakfast. Everyone gets a free t-shirt if you donate. And remember, you get 3 donations before your first graduation. If you graduate more than one time, who knows what happened there. But you get to wear a red cord, and that's pretty cool. So, see you at the blood drive February 3rd.
Hey Sidney High, this weekend our sports did pretty good. Our boys basketball defeated Lehman and Troy, and our boys varsity wrestling, we had a couple of placers. Logan Calvert got 3rd, I got 4th, Seth Von Hugel got 8th, and Javon Perk got 7th.
Boys basketball is home tonight against Sidney.
Girls fast pitch, your hitting schedule is now out. Tuesday from 5 to 7, you'll be knocking them out the park. But also on Thursday, 3 to 5, again. But if that's not good enough for you, you can pick up the actual hard copy of your hitting schedule in the athletic department. So, there should be no reason you should be missing any hitting practice if you're not in winter sport.
If you would like to start your preseason track lifting, it'll be from 4 to 5 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Make sure you see Miss Baker if you have any questions whatsoever. Remember to sign up on her door for this track season.
Sidney High School scholarship newsletter is now available. If you want scholarships, go ahead and see your English teacher or guidance counselor.
Just a reminder to SHS students to go onto the FolletChallenge.com and enter in Sidney High School so we can win a cash prize for Miss Nikolai.
Well, the answer to today's question, I know it's kind of tricky for some of you freshmen out there, but if you are traveling 60 miles per hour and you're going to travel, well, it was 60 miles, it'll take 1 hour. Thanks for watching Sidney High School News.
While we were over break, Jack Martin went and sat down with Superintendent John Shue to discuss the reasons behind closing and delays.
Student safety is always the #1 factor in terms of whether we delay, close, whatever the case may be when the weather is not too nice outside. That could be fog, could be ice, could be snow. But the process is basically this. On days where the roads are slippery, on days where the weather is inclement in some form or another, all superintendents in Shelby County, including Sidney City School Superintendent, is called by the Sheriff's Department early in the morning about 4:30 to give us a heads up or a warning that there's either fog in the area, roads are icy, snow covered, drifted, weather messages like that can give us a heads up at 4:30 in the morning. What normally happens is when there is a forecast for snow or something bad overnight, myself and the high school principal, Mr. John Guy, and our business director and technology and transportation director, Mr. Eric Finke, the 3 of us split up Sidney and we drive the roads beginning usually about 4:45, 4:30, 4:45 in the morning. We're out driving the roads. I drive Salem Township. Mr. Guy, since he lives in town, drives the roads in Sidney, and Mr. Finke, who lives south of town off of 25A, takes the southern part of the district. We normally drive around for close to an hour. We converse back and forth on the phone. how the road conditions are, and then it's my decision based on their input and my own driving inclination as to what we're going to do. But that decision is made no later than 6 o'clock, because our first bus actually leaves at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we have to make that decision no later than 6 o'clock a.m. The trick to this is that if something is not forecast, for example, if fog sets in unexpectedly and we have not been given a heads up the night before, that can kind of catch you shortchanged, or it can shortchange you in terms of not having some type of a forewarning and having it catch up on you very quickly. Or fast-moving fog that comes in from west to east sometimes can be a surprise. And also the timing of the fog too, because if it's not foggy at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, but fog all of a sudden sets in 5:30, 5:45, you've got about a half-hour time frame there to make a decision in terms of what to do. So those are difficult situations. But once again, student safety is always the factor that determines what my decision is going to be. I will also be in communication with other superintendents in the county, especially the western part of the county, because most of the storm systems come from west to east. So I will be in constant communication with Russia, Fort Laramie, and Hardin-Houston superintendent in terms of what is coming our way. I certainly listen to the weather report, listen to WHIO TV, WDTN, WKEF out of Dayton. And then once that decision is made, usually about 5:45 a decision is made, then a number of people have to be contacted in terms of other superintendents and other news stations, WMVR, all the 3 Dayton TV stations. So there's a number of people to call, including School Messenger, which used to be called One Call Now. A phone call is made to about 4,500 residences, and to give them the message that school is delayed or closed or whatever. Now, that's on a 2-hour delay or closing. If it's a 2-hour delay and the roads still continue to worsen, or the fog continues to worsen, I will usually arrive here about 6:30 after I've made my phone calls, and then I will go out on the roads again and test the roads, see what the driving conditions are between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, because if we're on a 2-hour delay, I have to decide by 8 o'clock if we're going to close or not. So the point I would like to make is that it is taken very, very seriously. I don't just wake up in the morning, look outside, and say, oh, it doesn't look that bad, we're going to school. I'm out driving the same roads that the kids drive, parents drive, bus drivers, and it all is predicated on what is best for student safety. Now, the other thing that is taken into consideration is the wind chill factor. One day last week we canceled because the wind chill was minus 29 at 6 o'clock in the morning. My sense is that anytime it reaches a minus 20 wind chill, it's dangerous for kids to be out there waiting on the bus, walking to school. We have a lot of walkers in Sidney. Certainly we have a number of kids that wait on buses, so it kind of presents a dangerous situation. So the wind chill can also be a factor in terms of either delaying or canceling school, but especially canceling school, because if the wind chill doesn't change from a 2-hour delay to going on time, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to disrupt the day if the temperature's not going to change. But sometimes by giving parents and bus drivers and students an extra 2 hours of daylight, that helps in terms of seeing the ice on the road or the black ice, dealing with those types of situations. So all of those things are kind of weighed into my decision, but once again I take it quite seriously, sometimes too seriously, and I second guess my own decision as well. But someone's got to make that call. And I think we have a very organized way of at least dealing with that situation, even though my decision is always ripe for second guessing. I get that, I understand that, and accept that.
I know there was one thing that he was thinking about. What kind of cars are used when you drive out? Like, is it four-wheel drive? Because I know a lot of students at high school, for example, can't afford the best cars. A lot of them are, two-wheel drive in the back, so it might be harder to drive on icy roads, and that comboed with inexperience.
It is that is a very good question. Of course, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive is not going to be any better on ice than a regular car. However, getting through snow, four-wheel drive obviously is going to do better. And all three of us do have four-wheel drives that we go out and test the roads. But that is taken into consideration. And certainly, if it's snow-covered, even though we may get through that snow, I mean, in our minds, how could a student or how could a parent that does not have four-wheel drive, how are they going to negotiate going through that snow? One of the issues we have, quite frankly, is that when we have just a quarter or a half inch of snow, parents will call in and question the decision in terms of why aren't we closed. You can't close school every time you have just a quarter inch or a half inch of snow. I mean, this is Ohio. It is winter. You have to deal with it, but at the same time, student safety is of the ultimate concern. Unfortunately, there are some people that think every time the temperature gets down to 0 or we have just a sprinkling of snow on the ground, there are people that question why we're not closed. You can't close. The object is not to close. The object is to have school on a regular basis as much as feasible and as much as safety provides.